or jump, and we'll do it with sophomore quarterbacks. Where is Orlovsky? He's over there, but D. Wood, I'm starting with you. Jayden Daniels just had the greatest rookie season any quarterback ever had. Will he have a sophomore slump or jump?
It's crazy, with the year he had. I want to go jump, man. I just think, the second year in the same system under Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, give him the MVP then.
Yeah, he's going to be in play, I can tell you that. With added protection along the offensive line, yeah, he's going to have a jump.
He could have been in that conversation last year. Peter, Drake May in New England, sophomore slump or jump?
Can we do sophomore giant leap? I think he's going to be so much better this year. He was so good last year. He's a Pro Bowl quarterback with nothing around him, and now you get Josh McDaniels calling the plays, one of the best quarterback gurus there is in the game, and Mike Vrabel, a real professional coach, to help on the defensive side as well.
And then, Danny, let's go back to the number 1 pick of a year ago. Caleb Williams, slump or jump?
Jump. He has to. If he doesn't jump, there will be widespread panic in all of Chicago. He gets the number 1 offensive line in the NFL in the last decade at coordinator-wise in Ben Johnson. It's a much improved offensive line. They've got a plethora of weapons on the perimeter. He has to take a big jump under Ben Johnson.
All of those things they added leaded you to tell me what in our meeting this morning?
Oh, I don't think there's a quarterback in the NFL under more pressure than Caleb Williams. The expectations are remarkably high. Ben Johnson, imagine like what Sean McVay was for Jared Goff when he went there, or what Mike McDaniel was for Tua when he went there. You can make the case that Caleb's more physically talented than those two guys, and so this is an offensive line that's going to be much improved. They've got guys to throw the football to by the dozens, it feels like, and a scheme that gets every quarterback to play well. Under Ben Johnson in Detroit, they scored 177 touchdowns, punted 154 times. Okay, so like the expectations should be exponentially high, and Caleb has to meet them.
You buying pressure, Peter Schrager, the most pressure of any quarterback in the NFL?
No, I don't think he's got the most pressure. Dan, yeah, I agree. They gave him everything. 6 new offensive coaches, all these weapons on the
right.
Last year was almost as if it's a mulligan. This is his rookie year to me. I don't think anyone blames him for last year. I look at J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota, who's stepping into a 14-3 team that was a game away from winning the division, have the number 1 seed, and they're saying, well, J.J. McCarthy, you're great. We saw it in college when you handed the ball off a bunch of times. Take the reins and go.
Here's my pushback to that. 1 was the number 1 pick. 1 is an organization, a city, a football team and fan base that has never had the quarterback that they've wanted. I think Minnesota is the easiest place to play quarterback in the NFL this year. I fully expect J.J. McCarthy to throw for 30 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. In Chicago, because, again, the conversation or the noise around Caleb, some of it to his own of saying, I didn't want to go there initially. Now everybody's going to go, you have no excuses anymore. That we got the offensive line. You have to go throw for 4,000 yards. You have to be one of the reasons why we are contending for the playoffs.
See, would those two play each other on the opening Monday night of the season? It'll be Minnesota at Chicago, our first Monday night game, J.J. McCarthy's first game, and Caleb Williams' first game of the rest of his life. And if you look at the Bears' schedule, the Fink loves to make the point of the schedule. The early schedule is very tough for Chicago. But what do you think? Those 2 young quarterbacks, which one do you put in the heat on? Which one do you believe in?
I believe in J.J. McCarthy.
Because
I love the infrastructure around him. You got Kevin O'Connell. I mean, name a better. Offensive line, weapons, defense. It's already made for him there. I know he hasn't played a regular season snap, but stepping into that system, give me JJ.
Let me tell you the difference in the situations. JJ in the situation with Kevin O'Connell, not only the infrastructure, how he plays football, a rhythm and timing centric quarterback, it's perfect. Caleb in Chicago has to do under Ben Johnson something he's never done. Play on time, play on rhythm. And if the way it works is Ben Johnson will demand the scheme, the play call, that's the star, not you. That's the star. And so on second down, since you were the worst third down quarterback in the NFL last year, and we were the worst in Chicago offense on third down, on second down, when I call this play, I want the ball in your hands. And what do you know this? Not just because I want the ball in your hands, I'm giving the offensive line a break. I'm getting that guy who hasn't touched the ball in 6 snaps a touch. I'm giving the defense a look. I'm getting ourselves set up for the second down play call that I want. So if Caleb will do that, and again, he hasn't done it, and it takes hundreds, if not thousands of reps to master. If he'll do that, the jump will happen. If he won't, we got problems.
Quick final word.
Sam Darnold, 14 wins, out the door. Daniel Jones, out the door. You're telling me a guy who has never taken a regular season snap, has no pressure on him walking into a 14-win team. I am a little bit allowed to say there could be some concern that they let some really good talent walk out.
Are you not a believer in JJ?
I want to see it first.
Hold this. We're coming back to it, I promise. We will have much more on that conversation. Ms. Strong, here we go. Would you believe with D. Wood? Would you believe if I told you that Saquon is going to rush for 2,000 yards again this year?
No, I would not believe it. You know how many things that have to go right for someone to rush for 2,000 yards? We know the Philadelphia Eagles have a new play caller in Kevin Petrillo. Got changes on the offensive line. And most importantly, health. Health plays an important factor in this whole equation. So, no, I don't think Saquon's going to run for 2,000.
Traeger, it's been more than 2 decades since any team repeated as champs in the NFC East. Are the Eagles finally going to break that?
They sure are equipped to do so. They've got everything they need as far as core assets go. The question is, can they do it without Kellen Moore, and can they replace the key members of that defense that got just raided over the offseason? But I like that the coaches are mostly back. And I like the fact that Saquon and Hurts are just getting started as a duo.
People like what Washington is doing a lot, we'll see. And then in the division, we also have Dallas. D. Wood, let's get to them. If I said Dak is going to right the ship and the Cowboys will be back in the playoffs, would you believe that?
I would believe that. Listen, I think the offensive line is going to be better. They've invested in it. Obviously, we know we talk about George Pickens, but the most important thing is Dak's health. When Dak plays a full slate of regular season games, that's 6 years, they made the playoffs 5 times. So it's really predicated on Dak staying healthy and being on the field.
Orlovsky, Cowboys playoffs?
I'm not putting them in the playoffs, but I do believe that they will be playoff contending come December. It's not so much just about Dak Prescott for me. This team's got to get more physical. It's one of the, at least at the line of scrimmage, both sides, softer teams in the NFL over the past 2 or 3 seasons. Under Brian Schottenheimer, you're going to have to find a way to get more physical in the NFC.
Did you see that little graphic at the beginning there, Traeger? They have the 4th worst odds to make the playoffs in the entire NFC. Only the Panthers, the Saints, and the Giants are projected worse. That surprises me.
Yeah, people probably look at the schedule and see the gauntlet they have to do during December towards the end of the season. But to Dan's point, if Dak Prescott is healthy and that defense can stand up, this is a team that should be very, very much in the mix throughout the regular.
Yeah, they're also not one of the best rosters in the NFC. That's why.
Okay, well, so I continue to find it a surprise. What can you say? D. Wood, let's get back to business. Would you believe it if I told you Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers will win at least 1 playoff game this year, something they haven't done in almost a decade?
I would not. I would not believe it. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't won a playoff game since 2016. Most older quarterbacks don't all of a sudden get better. Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a relevant on the field season since 2020 when he was an MVP in the league.
Specifying on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been very relevant off the field.
That's right, for other reasons. So I don't see Aaron Rodgers turning back the hands of time and becoming that guy that we've known for all these years as a first ballot Hall of Fame.
On Saturday, it was made.
Nó cứ đây chiều chiều máy. Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Các bạn làm đang gì vậy, quên rồi. Nhớ ra rồi, đang Phong Hoa. Em nơi đây bao chốn nhớ thương, chốn tim anh đây cả buồn phiền. Chán quá rồi không chào mặt bà không bao giờ.
Oh.